Hey, it's been a while. And I don't have any excuses besides the fact that I guess I'm lazy, maybe? That would probably be it. I mean, Crypticon happened, so that was sort of a thing. But I'm going to talk about that in my next video or the one after that. I don't know. Point is, I have not made this, and I've been meaning to make this for like 3 weeks because it's, as we're recording, it's May 21st. And this is what I watched in April. So, kind of fell behind a little bit, but you know what? We're getting caught up. We're going to do it. It's going to be fine. um, so, without further ado, here is what I watched in April. I'm going to start with the movies that I saw in theaters or on streaming, and then I will get over here to the physical releases that I've watched. So, I watched Godzilla Kong, The New Empire, the newest in the Godzilla and Kong American saga, and it was pretty good. Very, very goofy movie. I mean, not like with Powerline and stuff, but, you know, pretty goofy stuff. I mean, Dan Stevens is insane in this movie. Uh, yeah, the new monsters that Godzilla and Kong fight were pretty cool. I kind of would have rather had like seen like a new, fresh take on like a classic Godzilla monster, but you know that's okay. There's always the inevitable sequel since these movies make a bunch of money. So, you know, I'm sure at some point we'll get Hedorah and Gigan and, you know, all the others. Megalon. Megalon would be pretty cool. Anyway. Then I saw Civil War, which was great, but very stressful. I mean, I want to watch it again, but I didn't have a great time watching it in the best way. Because I like it when movies make me feel things. And, like, you know, the subject matter was very upsetting in this movie, and so it was nice to, you know, feel things. Sorry. Because, you know, basically a civil war breaks out in the US, and this movie is following journalists as they kind of navigate trying to get from, I don't remember where they start, but they're trying to get to, like, Washington, D.C., and so, yeah, it's them trying to get there. And so it's like a road movie that also has a bunch of very, very upsetting things. And it's great. Not fun, but I would definitely recommend it. I mean, it's A24. If you like A24 movies, I thought it was really good. It was directed by Alex Garland, who did like Ex Machina and Annihilation and Men, which I still have not seen, and I need to check that out. And I think he wrote a bunch of stuff too. Like I'm pretty sure that he wrote like 28 Days Later and stuff. So anyway, solid movie. Just be prepared to be stressed out because I was pretty stressed out. Then we watched Zone of Interest, which is another movie that is not fun at all. Deeply upsetting for a different reason. It's a Holocaust movie, but like you don't directly see anything like it. Jeez, I am sorry. It follows like the family of like a commandant of I think Auschwitz, and they live like, I mean, they share a wall with the concentration camp, and so a lot of the horrible things you just hear as background noise. If I ever do watch this movie again, I kind of want to watch it with like my headset. Like I have for my PlayStation, I have like a headset that has like pretty good audio in it. And so I almost want to watch the movie with that on just to get all of the different sounds. And And yeah, it was brutal, but it was really good. Um, so I apologize. There's a cats being goobers. Uh, then I watched Late Night with the Devil. Oh, also, so Godzilla and Civil War were both on in theaters. Zone of Interest is on HBO Max. Uh, and then this next movie, Late Night with the Devil, this is on Shudder. And this is like it wasn't very long, or it didn't feel very long. It moved at a really good pace. David Dasmalkian, I think I'm saying his name right. He's the lead. He's in the new Dune movies. Well, the first Dune movie as like the Harkonnen Mentat Peter, and he's also in the Suicide Squad as Polka Dot Man. He's in The Dark Knight as kind of a bit part. He's in Prisoners and sort of a bit part. It seems like he kind of popped up a lot for a while, and then now he's finally getting like recognition, which he well deserves because he's a great actor. And so Late Night with the Devil, it's like a 70s or 80s kind of late night talk show, and it's like their Halloween broadcast, and he is like the late night host, and so he brings on like a medium, a skeptic, and then a girl that is potentially possessed by like a demon, and it's all of them interacting, and like it escalates a lot, and it was very very fun. Not like the scariest movie I've ever seen. Not really kind of going for that vibe anyway. It felt a lot more like tongue in cheek and sort of, just like. Need to stop making these at like midnight. Yeah, just more tongue in cheek and just fun. Like it's definitely a movie that I could see myself throwing on just to have as like background noise, or even doing it as a yearly, around Halloween rewatch. I liked it a lot, and that leads to the final movie that I watched on streaming, which was Infested, also on Shudder. And it was deeply upsetting for me. I am not a huge fan of arachnids, and Infested is a French film about a spider that gets loose in a French apartment building, and it multiplies and kills people, and it's kind of like arachnophobia, except in French, and there's more gore. And I had a rough time in the best way. Like Civil War, I was very stressed out and infested, but like, not on like a I'm watching my country die level, more like a oh god, I'm itchy because there's 10,000 spiders level. So similar but different. And, two thumbs up. Made me feel something. I like that. I like it when movies get under my skin. Thankfully, not literally in this case, because those spiders are gross. Alright, on to the stuff that I own. Starting up with The Mummy. I watched the Brendan Fraser Mummy film in theaters, but this is just a Blu-ray set that has The Mummy, Mummy Returns, Mummy, Tomb of the Dragon Emperor, and The Scorpion King. If you haven't seen The Mummy from 1999, you should probably fix that whole situation because that movie rules. Mummy Returns is also awesome, but I will talk about that when I eventually get around to rewatching that because I haven't seen it in forever. I've actually never seen Mummy, Tomb of the Dragon Emperor, and then I saw The Scorpion King in theaters, and it was fine, but I was very disappointed that it wasn't just super bad CGI of The Rock as a giant scorpion monster. So, I don't want to see him before he becomes the scorpion monster that he is in The Mummy Returns. I want to see him become that. Tell me that story. And I think they've made like 7 Scorpion King movies, and I don't know if any of them have shown the story of how he became a horrible scorpion abomination. So I don't know. Get on it, like figure that out. Seems like it's pretty obvious. Anyway, The Mummy is, I would say pretty close to a perfect movie. It's got a little bit of everything: horror, action, romance. Brendan Fraser is the lead. It's awesome, very fun, like super fun. It moves at a really great pace. It just, the directed by the same guy that did Deep Rising, which is another awesome, awesome monster movie. Takes place on a cruise ship. I'm going to talk about that eventually because I fully intend to rewatch that soon. But yeah, The Mummy, 10 out of 10. If you haven't seen it, go watch The Mummy. What are you doing? Go watch The Mummy. It's about a mummy. And bad things happen. And Brendan Fraser is great. Anyway, next we got Undeclared War. This is a Vinegar Syndrome release. Technically, it is a VSA, which is Vinegar Syndrome Archive. And it's like a crime movie where a CIA agent is tracking a hitman to Hong Kong, and he ends up having to work with the police in Hong Kong, and it's super good. Random people are in this. Olivia Hussey from Black Christmas is in it, and the main bad guy from The Road Warrior is also in it, which, super weird. But it's really good. It's directed by Ringo Lam, who also did Burning Paradise, which is why I bought this, because I thought Burning Paradise was like a fantastic martial arts movie. And so I figured, same director, pick this up. It's a wild action movie. I think I liked Burning Paradise more, but this is still very, very solid. I think it's still available. I'm not 100%. But Vinegar Syndrome this weekend is having a halfway to Black Friday sale. And I think this would be included, because I think it's just the most recent stuff isn't included in that. But they made 5,000 copies, and I have 1,270 of 5,000. So definitely check this out if you are in the mood for like a cool, crazy Hong Kong action movie. Next up, we got Ticks. This is definitely going to be on the halfway to Black Friday sale, because I bought it at the last Black Friday sale. And this movie is about Seth Green and Carlton from Fresh Prince having a really bad time as they try to not be killed by giant mutant ticks. And that's kind of the big premise. Oh, and you know what? Who else in here? A little bit of Clint Howard. He's in there. Good times. He's infested. These ticks, they got like some kind of crazy growth hormone in them. And then they can like lay eggs in you, and you get infested with ticks, and they all burst out of you. And, good times. There's a giant tick at the end. Good, fun, very goofy monster movie. Then we got Southern Comfort. So this is directed by the same guy that did The Warriors, which is why I picked it up. I got the crazy Vinegar Syndrome Ultimate Release. Comes in like a magnetic clasped thing. We got a nice book. We got the actual physical disc of it. And then I believe inside there might be another, there's like another essay inside. It comes with the 4K and the Blu-ray. And this movie was very cool. It has Fred Ward from like the Tremors movies. It's got Powers Booth. It's actually got some people from the Warriors, at least one person from the Warriors. Um, the guy that played Billy and Predator is in it as like a bit part. I think Keith Carradine is also in it as like one of the main guys who I recognized from Deadwood. He plays Wild Bill Hickok in that. But yeah, so basically this movie's about some people in Louisiana, I think, or Mississippi, somewhere down there. It's like in the 70s, they're doing a training exercise because they're in the National Guard. And when they're doing their training exercise, they run afoul of like some swamp people, basically, because they commandeer some boats, and it just basically is like a really stupid misunderstanding that is made worse by one of the members of the National Guard, and then the rest of the movie is them being hunted by swamp people. And it's tense, it's really cool. Yeah, I just had a great time with Southern Comfort. And, I'd never heard of it before Vinegar Syndrome put it out, which, I mean, kind of fair. I feel like I've discovered a lot of movies through Vinegar Syndrome. And, yeah, it was really, really solid. The transfer is awesome. It looked great in 4K. I mean, so did Tix. And yeah, definitely recommend it. I think it's streaming, maybe HBO. It's streaming somewhere. I'm not 100% sure where. Last I checked, Tix is on Tubi. I don't know if The Mummy or Undeclared War is streaming anywhere. Mummy was streaming on HBO, but I think it's gone now. But Southern Comfort is streaming somewhere, so you can look and find it, and definitely give it a go. Or this is still in print on Vinegar Syndrome, so if you want to pick this up, you can get this really fancy edition for honestly like not that much money for what you get. Then another Vinegar Syndrome movie. It is Roadhouse. I was not able to get the fancy box, so I had to settle for just the 4K disc that comes with the Blu-ray, and then just an absolute ton of special features. But this movie's basically about Patrick Swayze being a bouncer in a bar that is pretty rough, and then he, runs afoul of some locals. And this movie rules. It's awesome. It's really fun. I mean, you also get Sam Elliott in it, and a few other people, and I mean Terry Funk, the pro wrestler's in this, which is rad. But yeah, Roadhouse. I mean it's a super simple premise, but like, what an awesome movie! Like, it came out in 1989. It's so stupid and fun. Like, it doesn't take itself seriously, and it's great. It's definitely a classic. Then we got Intruder. This was also really, really, really fun. So it's about, if you couldn't tell from the grocery bag with a head in it, it's a slasher movie where the killer starts killing people in a grocery store as they're doing like night work. And it's very fun. Sam Raimi is in it. Ted Raimi's in it. Bruce Campbell's in it. It came out in the late 80s, 1989, so about as late into the 80s as you can get, as it turns out. And the gore is like, some of it's like, oh, real goofy. Some of it's like gnarly. I was not expecting some of the violence in this movie. Oh, also Roadhouse, last I checked, streaming on HBO. I need to remember to talk about that. This movie, as far as I know, not streaming anywhere. Tubi would be the only place that I think it would be. Man, insane. Very fun. you get to see people getting cut up by all kinds of fun things. And I don't know if you've seen, like I'm talking directly to one person, if you have seen the Fear Street movies that are on Netflix. I believe it was the first Fear Street one had a scene where they run into like a supermarket trying to escape the killers, and I feel like that scene kind of had some nods to Intruder. But yeah, this was also real cheap. I mean, it's easy to pick up, and it's just cool. It's fun seeing Sam Raimi like act and stuff, because you don't really get that a whole lot. And then yeah, Bruce Campbell was in it for about 5 seconds, and Ted Raimi's really goofy as he always is. And yeah, Intruder had been on my radar for a long time, and I'm happy that I finally checked it out. Next up, I watched Underworld. I was feeling some vampires, I was feeling some werewolves, so I figured why not mash them together and watch some vampires fighting werewolves. Kate Beckinsale, Scott Speedman, Bill Nye, Michael Sheen, lots of people in this. It's just about vampires fighting werewolves in a semi-futuristic way. This is like the unrated extended cut. I don't know how much longer it is than the regular cut, because I haven't seen the regular cut of this movie in a really long time, so I don't even know what's added at this point. But I don't know, as far as like mid-2000s action horror goes, like gun fu type stuff, like, think like Equilibrium, movies like that. This is pretty solid. I like the mythology that they build throughout, and then, if you like this, they got 4 more of them. And Kate Beckinsale is in all of them but the third one. So, yeah, I don't know. I thought it was fun. So, I like the Underworld movies. Next up, we got Throwdown. Getting classy, watching some Criterion. So, this is kind of like a slice of life friendship movie. So like talks kind of about the power of friendship, but there's also a whole bunch of judo as well. Like the main character is like a former judo practitioner, and he was really good at it. And then like another character wants to challenge him in a fight, and they end up becoming friends. And yeah, it was just fun, kind of goofy, very lighthearted. I thought it was going to be a lot more serious than it was. But yeah, I thought it was pretty good. Not what I was expecting, but I wasn't mad about it. So yeah, I don't know, kind of a fun, just random Criterion movie. Next up, it's The Rock, another Criterion release. So, The Rock, pretty classy movie, if I do say so myself. And if you have not seen The Rock, it's about Nick Cage teaming up with Sean Connery to stop Ed Harris from killing a bunch of civilians with horrible biological warfare weapons, or chemical warfare, I guess. I don't know. I think it's gas, or it's something bad in these little balls that will murder you real hard. And Ed Harris and a group of other people like Tony Todd and stuff. Michael Biehn is in it too. I forgot about that. William Forsythe. Anyway, the bad guys all hole up on Alcatraz. So they got to sneak into the Nick Cage and Sean Connery have to sneak into Alcatraz to stop them, and it's great. It's a Michael Bay movie. Came out in the mid-90s for sure. I don't know exactly when. 1996. Right in that, like, real action, glory section of Nick Cage's career. This was like Face Off, Con Air, The Rock. Man, what are some other ones? He made all of them like back to back to back. Like Snake Eyes was on one of them. Like with the 90s for Nick Cage was a very good span of time. So yeah, if you want to watch an insane action movie with like some explosions that like don't make any sense, like some things blow up in this movie in this really long car chase that like they don't need to blow up, but they do, and I'm cool with it. Like I'll watch it, but yeah, The Rock, good stuff. Next up, another Nick Cage movie. This one less well known. Red Rock West. So this is from one of Vinegar Syndrome's like partner labels. They've released a few movies so far, but I had known of this movie before they like announced that they were going to release it, and so like I jumped on it as soon as I could. And yeah, it comes with like a really nice book that has the disc in the back, but then it's like essays and stuff. And I really liked this movie. It's another Nick Cage movie. Came out in 1993, and Nick Cage kind of plays like an out of work dude from Texas. He goes up to Wyoming to just look for a job. Like I think it seems like he was promised a job, and then that didn't work out, and so he goes into like this little bar. And the owner is like, "Hey, are you so-and-so from Texas?" And Nick Cage is like, "Yeah, totally. I'm that guy." And then the dude hands him a big pile of money, and he's like, "All right, cool. Here's where my wife is. Go kill her." And Nick Cage is like, "Okay." And the wife is played by Laura Flynn Boyle from Twin Peaks and Men in Black 2 and, a couple other things. Anyway. So Nick Cage fully intends to just take the money and run because he's like, I'm not going to kill anybody. This is ridiculous. So fully intends to do that. Things don't go as planned. He ends up meeting the actual person that was hired to murder the dude's wife, played by Dennis Hopper. And hilarity ensues. And by hilarity, I mean they try to kill each other. And it's really good. There's a lot of twists, but not like an annoying amount of twists. Tasteful amount of twists. And yeah, really happy that I watched it because it sounded interesting. I watched like a YouTube video that was like 3 hours long. And it went over Nick Cage's like entire career. And that was a movie that they had talked about, and it sounded really good. And then I tried to find a copy, and like it just wasn't available anywhere. Like there was like a DVD that you could get like secondhand, and they never had a Blu-ray of it. And so yeah, I'm really stoked that this company ended up just deciding to throw one out because yeah, it's a Nick Cage movie, definitely worth watching, and his performance isn't as like insane as he can get. Like it's definitely a more subdued Nick Cage, but yeah, I liked it a lot. So next up, we got Human Lanterns, which is a very fun martial arts horror movie. This guy makes lanterns out of human skin, and it's up to some people to figure that out and stop it. And it is great. I had a blast watching Human Lanterns. This is the 88 films release on Blu-ray. And yeah, I mean, it's literally that, like, came out in the 80s, 1982, and it's just like it's a Shaw Brothers movie, so it's like solid kung fu, And yeah, you get all that, and then like kind of gnarly gore sometimes. And the dude, when he's dressed in his like skull mask, jumping around is very fun. Yeah, I definitely recommend it. It's 90 minutes, maybe 100 minutes. It's not long, and it's just really well paced, and the action is wild, and yeah, Human Lanterns. If you can find it, I mean, it's well worth it if you like martial arts films. So then I also watched the first movie in this set. So I watched Shinjuku Triad Society, and this is the Black Society trilogy, which were Takashi Miike's first films, or some of his first films. Who he also ended up doing Audition and literally 100 other movies, which is absurd, and he's still making movies. And yeah, so this was basically like a Yakuza crime movie, and it was about like kind of like the Triad butting heads with the Yakuza and stuff. So it was really good. I liked it a lot. So yeah. Yeah, Shinjuku Triad Society. I know that's streaming on the Arrow app. Like Arrow Video has their own app. It's like $5 a month, same as Shudder, and you get different stuff. So I have them both, and they complement each other really well. I guess going back through, Underworld might be on HBO. Usually it's on HBO. Throwdown, it's probably on Criterion Channel. The Rock could be anywhere. Red Rock West, I don't think is streaming anywhere, and then Human Lanterns, no, it's not anywhere. Probably, if it's anywhere, it'd be Tubi. Tubi gets weird stuff. Always check Tubi. And so then I watched a movie out of my Shawscope box set, Volume 1. I've seen this movie before, but it's just real good, so I felt like watching it again. And that is the first movie in the set, King Boxer, also known as Five Fingers of Death. And this follows a guy that is learning the Iron Fist technique. And when he learns it, his fists glow and he can punch through stuff. Kind of seems like Marvel ripped it off. There's a guy with a big goofy forehead, and his whole deal is that he headbutts things, which is awesome. And in general, King Boxer is just a super fun movie. So yeah, that's that. That is also streaming on the Arrow website, or their app. Sorry. And yeah, if you like kung fu movies, King Boxer rules. Really good, really good. Well paced. Got some crazy action. It's a good mix of like goofy and like fun and actually like has some really good fights. So yeah. And obviously if you like martial arts movies, just buy the Shawscope sets. They're like $100, but they're totally worth it. Like they're some of my favorite releases from Arrow. I would say probably some of my favorite non-horror releases from Arrow, because that Hellraiser 4K box set is very nice. So yeah, that's everything that I watched in April. 3 weeks late. I mean, I thought about doing a everything I watched in April and May video, but I figured I would just get this out. So the next video could be what I watched in May, because that's in like, it's going to be June in like 2 weeks or a week and a half, which is insane. But yeah, I do have a few other video ideas in the pipeline. We'll see what I make. I don't know. I get real pumped on stuff and then I fall off and then I get back on it. So, we'll figure it out. Right now I'm going through a 4K Christopher Nolan box set, so I'll definitely be talking about that in the What I Watched in May video. I think that I might make a video at some point just talking about the 4Ks that I have. Just because I'm kind of getting into those. I mean, I definitely have more DVDs than anything, and then I have a lot of Blu-rays, but I'm starting to get 4Ks because Amazon is doing pretty good deals on them. Like right now, on Amazon, you can get 3 4Ks for $33. I mean, it's not all of them, but they have a selection of 4Ks. So they have some pretty good stuff on there. So yeah, other than that, hey, be good to each other. Don't be mean. Don't be a jerk. You know, unless the person deserves it. Through direct actions, not because of weird prejudices that you may hold. Don't do that. Prejudices are bad. Just love everybody. You know what I'm saying? Unless they don't deserve love, like racists and sexists and homophobes and transphobes and all those people. Screw them. But everybody else, hey, they're all right. On that note, have a good one, and I will see you in the next video. See you next time. Whatever. I don't know. Watch more movies. Have a good time. Heck yeah. Bye.